What up, what up, what up? It's the late night edition of the Shark Cove post LCS. We're going to get it going, get it moving, and maybe maybe we're going to get through this pretty quickly. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not going to be exactly the same format. It's not going to be the exact same cast as Moose will not be joining me tonight. He had some things to do, so I called in backups. I think this person has the second most Cove appearances after Moose. I'm not sure. I've never added it up. If somebody wanted to, that would be cool. But I've got Gelati with me. What's going on?
What's going on, everybody?
Well, what a slate.
That LCS slate. Whew.
Team Liquid continues to throw leads. Unfortunately, with a team like C9, they weren't able to recapture the lead to just simply throw it again like they did the other day. Golden Guardians looks good, and I think Dig has some serious issues with this roster. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I almost think you have to demote Spawn. Although he was not the entire problem today, but he was still definitely a problem.
Yeah, I think this might be getting into the territory where you just got to change for the sake of change. You know what I mean? Like, you see this in pro sports all the time where it's like, you see this a lot with like first round pick quarterbacks where they want to give the kid a shot, but if he's not ready yet, he's not ready. Right. So like, you don't want him getting killed. Same with like, you just say it. Like, I think they probably got to switch something up. I don't know what that is. They got to do some soul searching, but I'm with you there because they look historically bad. Like, they look really bad.
When you think about that game, I mean, I think that this was one of his better performances. And, getting the push in lane with Aphelios and what was it, like Lulu? He played very well in lane. I can't say that has happened in 8 other games. I think the key point for them were those 2 dives that it felt like they weren't even on voice comms. Santorin's over there. They throw the ult. They don't decide to dive. If they make those dives and if they get those kills, even trade evenly, perhaps it's a different game. Because when you think about that was a different game, but that was it. I mean, they had nothing after that. They fell apart everywhere else, and I don't know why you don't make those dives. Both of those dives were absolutely diveable. So,
well, you know why? They're not confident.
Well,
they don't. I mean, that's what it is, man. Like you look at hesitation like that, and yeah, it looks brilliant sometimes, but for the most part, like if you're not pulling the trigger on stuff, it's because you're hesitating, and you're only hesitating when you're not confident. And even with teams that have lost a lot of games on stage, if they know that they're better than that, it's frustrating, but they're still gonna play, and you can usually tell with like Golden Guardians, good example, right? Like they had there was no sweat. Like when they went 0-4, you saw some, like they weren't bumming because they're probably going 50-50 or so in scrims. They're probably doing all right. So, I mean, like Dignitas, it's frustrating because they have had a couple. They should have won the Cloud9 game, and they probably should have won. They definitely should have won the Immortals game. They're up like 4,000 plus goal to 20 minutes in that game.
I even think that there might have been another game that they were up at some point that they should.
Yeah, they've only been up in 2 games at 20 minutes this season. And like that's it. Like the Immortals game was unforgivably bad. You got to win that. But yeah, I don't know. I think at this point, this is the shitty thing with best of ones is that you do have to actually think about making a change, right? is what I hate about it. Like if it was best of threes and they lost like 6 series, but they took a game in 4 or 5 of them, like nobody cares, right?
Yeah, but I mean, you went 0-9. You lost 3 games in Super League. I mean, you've lost to some teams that are pretty. I mean, there are games here that you should be able to win, right?
Yeah, you punted against Immortals. That's bad. Like that's real bad.
Immortals, and say what you will, like TSM had some good performances this weekend, but I think TSM's a beatable team, and it
Mm-hmm.
appears that 100 Thieves are a very beatable team too. Um, Obviously, Team Liquid is, and they got romped by them. So is CLG. They have games that they should win, but they're consistently losing these games. I mean, when you just look at the numbers behind their losses, they lost 10-6, 16-3, 16-4, 14-2, 14-6, 16-6, 17-3, 14-3, and 9-0. 9-0 really kind of tells you towards the end they probably kind of were giving up, and I mean you could see it, like they didn't even
They didn't
I'm
even put up a fight in that game. You're right.
and they could have just let the minions do it. I mean, just go in and die, lose 12-0. Jeez, I mean, come on, I don't know.
I do wonder if like coming into this week, like somebody said something like coaching or management, and everyone's just like super tilted. It's super like it's really possible. Like the other thing is like none of these games have been close besides those 2 where they had a lead. Like
Yeah.
none of them have been like I guess their second game they were only down 1,000 at 20. Like that was the biggest deficit before it really got blown wide open. But like we're talking like big blowout games here. Like a lot of these games haven't been close. They've had multiple games with 5K plus at 20. Like that's a no that game's done 99% of the time. So like it's not like they've been that competitive outside of those 2 games. And yeah, maybe you switch bottom lanes. Switch. I don't. You got to do something because this ain't working. Clearly, this ain't it, as they say.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also kind of you see like the comp that they drafted in that last game was very different than what they have been playing. I mean, putting Arma on Cyan, I don't know if that's the right move, but maybe that was just something that they said, hey, we've got to try this or we've got to do something. And obviously, I think the Aphelios pick was meant to enable Spawn. It is his most played champion, and so
He
he
looks
looked
good.
better on it. It's almost it's crazy to say that this is probably one of the better looking games that they played, but their team fighting looks terrible. Like, I mean, this team, they can't like each other. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, it's tough to like throw that kind of judgment around, but you're right. Like, because like, yeah, we don't know what it's like behind the scenes for them unless they come out and say it. And even if they say it, it's like, oh, it's just professional bullshit, right? Like, we don't.
Yeah, but I mean, like you've got Santorin, who's made worlds, and you've got Jensen, LCS pedigree, like very few others, and then you've got Arma, who maybe left the LEC in a fashion that was um, not necessarily befitting to what I'm saying here, but they did. He did win the LEC with Madenheins twice. He
Mhm.
did go to Worlds in 2 different regions, and just because they stuck him on NAR and only NAR last year in Worlds, I feel like he kind of got exposed to some extent. But his champion pool is bigger than that, so it was always strange to me. But yeah, enough on Dignitas. It's not working. They need to make some changes. So let's kind of run through these games and talk, because I think that there are a couple lines here that are ridiculously wrong. And I'm sure that you feel the same way. I actually have not looked too far into it. In all honesty, I have not paid as much attention to the LPL and LCK as maybe I did last year. I have, I found the leagues that I can watch and I enjoy watching. I spent more time on those. But here's a game that's hard to miss, right? We've got Brion versus Guangdong. This is a basic pick 'em. Guangdong is a little bit of a favorite at -135. They have shown signs of life, but in the same respect, this Brion team has shown signs of life, picking up games here and there. Nothing to like write home about. I mean, look, what are we looking at? Both of these teams are 18-4, 3-6, and 2-7 on the series. I mean, is this line so close, and is this accurate? Is this something that I want to bet? No, maybe you.
No, this is a pretty fairly priced match to me. Like I think Kwangdong have looked a little bit better recently, but neither of these teams has really looked bad. early in the season, Kwangdong was looking like they might be a garbage, like dumpster fire tier. But, they had a rough week 1 and they kind of got it together and they've looked a lot better. Like they keep getting better and better. That said, I don't think they're that much better at all. So, like, I think this is close. Like they're a better team, but this is pretty close. Like I have no bet on a side in this game.
Yeah, I mean, recently KDF did pick up that game off of Gen G. They won 2 against Nongshim and picked up a game against Sandbox, whereas Bro's only recent win in the last week and a half was against HLE. They did get swept by T1. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. 18 and a half is the over-under. That's not exactly exciting to in terms of an indication of how this game is going to be played.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump at the over here, and that's really what's telling. So I don't know. We'll take a look later at some underdogs and prize picks and kind of figure out if any of those are viable. I'm not sure that they will be, but let's hop into the next game. Let's see if this one's more exciting. We've got Nongshim versus KT. Wow. Okay. So look, I get it. Nongshim has won 1 series. They won 4 games. This KT team at times, I feel like, just looking through the results, granted, I haven't watched them. It feels like they're really hot and cold. Sometimes that they win, sometimes that they lose. Sometimes they win when they shouldn't. Sometimes they win when they should. They're all over the place here. Do they sweep this? I think the minus 700 is not bettable. Is 425 is plus 1.5, or is this minus 150 where you're going?
This is just a question of whether you want to ride the KT roller coaster or not, because this is exactly all right. They've had a couple good series in a row now. They had the whole side. Did you read about the whole side pick fiasco against Brion?
Yes, I do. I do remember that.
Like, I don't think that would have changed the results of that. And I think KT's a good team. Like, they're going to be a playoff team. They're feisty. They're just like last year's. They're different kind of team, but same mannerisms, and like they're going to be a feisty underdog that I would like to see get an upset in the playoffs. I don't think this price is that far off, but you're laying. I bet the minus 1.5. I bet the map spread with KT, but I only played single stake on it, and I am well aware that this could be classic KT roller coaster, and they get like 0-2'd by Nongshim, and then come out and like beat T1 in 2 weeks or something. So, what I like more in this match is the kill total overs.
Okay.
KT have been very, very bloody in wins. Let me see. Actually, I didn't like. All right, they haven't been super bloody. Oh, Nongshim have given up a lot of deaths and losses. That's what it was. I got crossed up. Sorry about that. They're averaging almost 10 kills a loss.
Okay.
I do think Nongshim's the worst team in the league. I think Nongshim and DRX are like the dumpster fire tier in the LCK this season. I think the two of them are significantly worse than everybody else. I think KT's competent. It wouldn't surprise me if they dropped a game here, but I did lay the 1.5. I like the kill total overs. I played alt overs 20 and a half and 21.5 in ladder. KT have had a couple blow up games, and you're getting plus money on those. So all you need is, if you're splitting the two, all you need is one to go over, and you're going to break even at least. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Nongshim. Like Nongshim, they have a bunch of young players, a bunch of like role player kind of people. They stuck in system. They are trying to stick to the keep everything within the team, but it's just not working. Like I like some of the players on this team, but as a team, a full situation, it's just not working. They've been very, very bad. So it's just a matter of if you want to lay the 150 to get a mass spread or to get the sweep or not.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. Like, just from a betting standpoint, it's obviously different from a DFS standpoint. I feel like with the way that I'm running right now, if I backed KT, even with a team slot, thinking that the team slot would 2-0, I would wake up at 3:45. Well, not 3:49. I mean, the series is not going to be over at that point. I'm going to wake up at 6:30. I'm going to have to go to the bathroom and check, and KT will have just lost the series somehow, and I won't be shocked at all. Let's get to the spicier ones, because I think there's some spicy series. The unfortunate thing, and I've talked about this, is that the LCK in past splits, had some games that were semi-viable, but some of these teams are just playing such low kill totals. I mean, most of them are that you're just really hoping for wild, wild like variant outcomes, like we saw in like week 1 from T1, where like T1's game 2 yesterday. If you could string two of those
They have
together,
27 kills yesterday in that game, something like
but like
that.
exactly, but like per like 2021, I felt like this happened all the time in 21, where you get like a 19 kill game or a 20 kill game, and then you get like a 9 kill game, and like the 20 kill game it didn't matter. Like, I mean, it matters, but it didn't. So that being said, while the LPL has been like that, we have some games and we have some teams that I think kind of buck that trend. Let's take a
Yeah.
look and see what the first one is, and
I
this
will
is the doozy.
I will
Go
say
ahead.
just in general before we go off the LCK, that is a thing. I do think just I'm talking like just eye test here, like just, qualitative analysis watching these games. Outside of like the top teams in the LCK, I think are just so disciplined and controlled in how they like close leads out that like they just don't make mistakes very often. So once they get ahead in the game, it's just over. Like there's so many more wire to wire victories in the LCK, even if they're not like they might not be a complete blowout like 2K gold lead at 10 minutes every game kind of situation like you see in some of the LPL games, but it's like you give them an inch, they take them on, they just choke you out. Like especially with most of the good teams. And now that you have two like so most of last year we didn't have like any dumpster fire tier teams in the LCK. Like all 10 teams, like even the bad teams were capable, like they got with it and were able to like actually play a game. And if they got a lead, they could win, right? Nongshim have shown you absolutely nothing. The RX have had a lead in like 2 games this season. So like either it's a bad read on the meta or something like that. But until further notice, unless you think a game is going to be competitive, I think you just have to assume it's going to be lower scoring. Unless you have teams like KT or Genji or T1 that get really, really aggressive when they're winning and will style a little bit. And those can be your over teams if you want to try to play LCK small stacks or something like that.
I think the biggest thing is like what you said is correct, but I also think you can target teams that you feel confident in a 2-0. If you feel confident that
Yeah.
KT 2-0s, like you hope that one of those games is like some like 22 kill win and the other one is like 15 or 16, and it really does put you in a good position. But you also want those teams to either be like price down or allow you to fit something else. You don't want to force it. Some of these LCK teams are obviously priced way up.
Yeah.
And I mean, even last night, like I wanted to play some HLE. I thought it was going to be different. And then I looked at like the pricing. I'm like, fuck this. Like I'm not playing HLE at these prices. I don't want to be that different.
So let me ask you, like for DFS purposes, like is their pricing going to suppress ownership enough on them that it's like worth considering? Like maybe you do get like a 25 kill game and then like maybe a 16 kill game in a 2-0.
I think that their price is low enough that like it's not going to suppress ownership. I think that this might be a case where KT is something that you want to consider depending on.
Because the spot sets up well
Oh
for
my
it
god. Okay.
like the
So
spot sets up well enough for it to actually be like they might get some kills in this series and get a 2-0.
yeah, I'm looking at some of this pricing. Oh wait, okay, no, I had. Oh, whoops, my bad. I
We're
had
gonna
it
get to
sorted by
Waybo in a bit.
alphabetical. I was like, JDG is that low with low price? Like, of course, JDG's a smash. I don't know, man. It might make sense. I don't know if you can fit them with JDG, but you could definitely look into maybe fitting them with like Weibo if that's where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Or
I just think
some
like
of these other
this is one of the
options.
rare situations where I think they're going to 2-0 and they could get a lot of kills, and there haven't been a lot of those in the LCK this season. So I think it's worth considering, but I haven't looked at price. I'm like looking at the pricing as you're bringing it up here. So
Well, let's hop into the games that matter the most, I should say. This is going to be one that's going to have a ton of ownership on it. I would imagine, especially if you factor in both sides. And this is an interesting game because Invictus have looked good, right? They've not only have they looked good, but they've wanted to fight. They've wanted to play. This is almost or has been, and I mean, I guess who knows when they're going to switch the patch? They may just play on 13-1 forever, right? But the double ADC the double marksman bot lanes has really, really, really been advantageous for IG. Wink has been an absolute killer, an absolute stud. I think Killer Kale's on this. No, that's Sandbox. So I was thinking maybe we had some
Killer
support
Kale.
Sandbox. Yeah, Killer Kale, man. He gets a lot of kills. Delight used to, but he's let us down. But this boy Wink has like twice as many as anybody
Well, dude,
else.
Wink and On have
support.
both played support and AD carry.
I know.
Like that's like they're both dual role players, so kind of makes sense, right?
I know. I mean, hey, like sometimes you just got to play like these guys, and you got to draft them, and you just got to hope about luck. M. Bellman knows about luck in the LCK. Apparently, if you were in the Discord earlier, you know what that is. Except for Cookies, who somehow glanced over all of it, just posting his videos. And Mort, I will tell you, my friend, we actually played a game after, like an hour after our ARAMs that like fell apart, and me and Cookies had just a dominating make the other team forfeit at like 15. So it was a great game. I don't know how we did it when his Elise reset the jungle 3 times before clearing his first camp. Our Mordekaiser died level 1 pre minions, and I thought this was doomed, but
he went on to carry the
game. Turned out to be okay. Yeah, it's all your fault. Exactly. No, it was Bunny's fault. So Gelati, we were playing, some good luck ARAMs, and our Aphelios was named Bunny, or it was like more like Bunny because there was a lot of N's. I don't know.
Got it.
But he built IE first. So
that's
like first item. So
no.
Yeah, it went.
I mean, that's alpha. I'll give it to him. That's some real energy.
He watched a couple fights without autoing. He walked away. He was really bad. He was.
Was
really
it a bot?
Bad. I don't know. He built Bloodthirster after, and he gained a little bit of damage at that point because the IE started kicking in, right? But back on track here. JDG coming off, I think, a series loss, bringing them down. One of the things from a DFS standpoint and just fantasy overall, coming into the season, we had questions about JDG. Who was going to have to take a step back, because we weren't going to see the same type of fantasy performances out of 369 that we did last year. We weren't going to see the same ones out of Kanavi or Knight or Ruler, not all of them at least. And it appears, based off of the meta, it could be Kanavi right now. But as they switch to patches, I do, whenever they go to 13-3, I would not be surprised if we throw 369 on these Scions and other tanks. And it does worry me, because in the seasonal or in the weekly draft that we're doing right now for the LPL in the Discord, I was able to pick up Knight and Missing in the first 2 rounds. 369 is presumably going to be there for me for my third pick. They do play 2 games. They play tough games. I just don't know if I go with 369 or if I go with something like Wink to block Nathan. And I am thinking about that, Nathan, if you're watching. I'm sorry, but I am thinking about it. I'm going to go double support in the middle of it. But back on track. This number seems way too big to me.
It's too big. That's the end of story. Invictus are going to have side choice for this game. This is too big a number, even without adjusting for side choice. I mean, for what it's worth, I made this like minus 175 for JDG. So this is way, way out of line. Like, they're coming off a loss. Everybody, I still think they're the best team in the LPL. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. If everyone's freaking out that they lost a match to EDG, and they lost to Weibo too, I guess, right? But like those are 2 good teams. EDG's looking really sharp right now. So like, I don't think there's any shame whatsoever in losing to another good team, as long as it doesn't become like a regular occurrence. 2 times is not, a trend. You know what I'm saying? So like, all the performance metrics, all the under the hood stuff, JDG are still the best team, like with margin. Like, it's not close. But this is way too big a number. Way too big a number, especially with Invictus getting choice. So I love Invictus to take a game here. That's one of my favorite picks on the entire slate tomorrow in LEC, LCK, or LPL. And I like Invictus outright on the money line. And it's a way bigger number on Bovada and a couple other places, so make sure you line shop. Like, I bet a double stake on this at plus 215. You can get plus 300.
Yeah, the thing that's kind of crazy about it, though, is when you look through and up and down Invictus's resume so far this season, It's really not that impressive. I mean, the way that they've won, what they've done, but I'm talking about who they've beaten.
Yeah.
Although LGD did pick up a nice win last night, EDG did just beat JDG, and RNG has its faults, but it's hard to measure. So this is a good test for them. They did play a pretty cupcake schedule for all intents and purposes coming in. They're going to be tested here. They're going to be tested, I think, in the next couple of matches. I do think that this number is just way too big. I think you have to
it's
take
just a number bet. Like no one,
no
one's saying
JDG
shouldn't be favored, but
JDG might win 2 of these games 25 to 6 or
Yeah.
25 to 10. They might just absolutely smash. And it is hard in DFS to get away from this game, right? Like it has.
But whoever wins is going to get a blowout, probably.
Or dare I say, on a 5-game slate, you game stack it? Dare I say? I don't know.
So I was thinking that because, but this game almost feels too obvious to game stack, doesn't it?
Sure.
Like people, I mean, we have the specialist around. I don't know I think we was in the chat. I think I seen him, but like, it doesn't matter if it's obvious. I feel like if you're going to do it. Because I think to me, the most likely outcome in this series is a 2-1 for JDG, right? And if you end up getting, a 20 kill win for Invictus, like maybe a scrappy, 20 to 12 win for JDG, and then another one for either side of this, like that's certainly possible. Like this could be a 3 overs kind of game. Like that would not surprise me at all. But and I'm very, very confident that Invictus are going to get a map on this. Like the price is way, way out of line. So
JDG, even in their losses, averages 11 kills.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Kills, it's huge. I mean, so
my only real concern for Invictus here is that like they haven't had to face a 369 caliber top laner, and You Should Know Me has been just smurfing the league since he came into it, more or less. So you have to think at some point people start to figure him out a little bit. And then 369 is a veteran player. He's extremely good. Clearly the biggest test. He's probably the best top player in the league. I think this is the biggest test for You Should Know Me. But, maybe it could be an advantage for them too that he's playing super well right now.
So, I was thinking about this the other day. I was driving down the freeway, or maybe I was on just a regular road, and I was like, there's a turn like the freeway. I don't know. Maybe my wife was driving. I'm not even sure, but I was just thinking to myself.
Do you know where you are right now?
I was thinking like, 369, man, this dude was the best top laner last year. And I think everybody would agree to that. But who was it the year before? It was Breathe, right? But like Breathe sucked last year, but 2 years ago he was really good. But like 3 years ago, Breathe wasn't good. Who was the best guy then? I was like, man, what a tough position to maintain your throne. Maybe 369 is just not going to be the best top laner.
He's been really
in
good
the world
this season, though.
I mean, but there have been a couple other guys that have been really, really good. Maybe not in the LPL, but we're talking about the world. Thorn's been amazing.
Doran's been excellent this year.
Fudge has been fantastic. Evie,
Adam. Adam is making a worldwide meta around himself. It's kind of crazy.
And look,
hearing LPL and LCK players reference him, saying that hey, he's got ideas. Like
you got Moose Hater too.
Yeah, and then the Lord and Savior Moose Hater, who's someone's gonna play Garen at some point.
Wildcard Gaming, man. What a team. They did beat C9's academy team.
I know we've been memeing it, but like for real, how bad does it have to be that you got these you have all these teams with the infrastructure of the millions of dollars of infrastructure from facilities, they got coaching staffs, they got scouted, they do all this stuff, and then some dude from solo queue comes in and smashes you with Garen. It's just and all sorts of other shit. He's been playing Fiora and Zach, and his match history is a sight to behold. We were talking about it in the Discord a couple days ago. If you haven't looked at his match history, pull it up. It's something to behold.
Yeah, they're good. They're exciting. Those games are fun. They're on all weekend after the LEC, during the LEC. It's good for Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday night. So
the Challenger's been fun to watch. I wish why can't the LCS just go to that format? Like I know it's a
Well,
little bit different, but like they should try something like that.
and not only that, Gelati, but they do cover it over at underdogfantasy.com. If you haven't put your first deposit in, use code Cove. It'll match $100 or up to $100 on your first deposit. So go there, have some fun, play some rivals. We're going to do some picks later. On top of that, also, if you haven't, like and subscribe. I know you fuckers aren't subscribed. Some of you aren't. It's free. Why not? Look, if
I've
the
already
reason
done
was
it.
if the reason is I didn't tell you, I'm telling you now. Did you know, July? I had no idea that you had restarted your Patreon until today.
Really?
I didn't know. I didn't know. So hey, while you're at it, it's not free. It's not free, but it's close to free. Go over to Patreon, search Gelati. You'll get his picks. M. Bellman credited him 100% for his wins. So hey, look, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but he certainly did credit you to help
Was
him
it
construct his
LGD? I
lineup
think it
yesterday.
was,
So
right?
if you want to win 500,000 in NBA, go spend the money on Gelati's LOL Patreon. That's the key. That's the ticket. You get the confidence over here in the LOL field. You go play some NBA and you absolutely crush. But
You bing for $500,000.
I think we're in. I think we're in agreement here. Play Invictus. I mean, like even if you think JDG is going to win the series, even
Invictus
if you
to
think
take a map is a great
take a
bet.
map, and then you've got to sprinkle some plus 300. We've seen multiple plus 300s win over the last couple of days.
This is a great price too. Like all the high limit books are like 200 range. So this is a soft number too.
Good point. Zoom was the man when I started watching LOL.
2021 was Zoom.
What 2020 was Zoom, was it not?
Oh yeah, 2020 was Zoom and like Nogari and a few others.
Yeah. Man,
Keen was still just a psycho back then.
Those were the days. Actually, even Licorice was good back then in 2020.
He had a good weekend.
He did. His kill participation is comical. Rare Adam BLG. Rare Adam, where are we on
Rare Adam? He's in Europe.
This is tough. So look, from a DFS standpoint, because we're going to kind of integrate it, not do it this the exact way that we normally do the shows, as we've already started to talk a little bit about the DFS implications of these matchups. Look, this BLG team, and I know we were talking about Rare Adam, but they're playing BLG, but this BLG team seems to have something, and it's not a good thing, okay? So they have something. It's not a disease. It could be a disease. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a parasite, but it is a culture thing. And I
this
find
is
it
BLG.
funny that so many of these teams can flip their entire roster. They can flip their coaching staff, but they can have the exact same fucking problems that previous iterations of the teams have when there is absolutely nothing that connects them. And the pieces didn't even have these problems. But maybe they did when we think about it. And what I'm talking about is BLG just can't sweep a series. They can't sweep a series. They can't sweep a series before. Maybe it's this dude Yagao. Yagao couldn't sweep series. JDG was a 2-1 machine last year, a good 2-1 machine. They were really good, but that was more I want to say that, part of that was through the blue side dominance of the LPL at certain points where you knew that like teams were going to get a game. And so it was a 2-1. And this BLG team just can't 2-0 anybody. They have so many inconsistent pieces, so many pieces that I want to bet on. But man, I am shell shocked. I don't know. Do I bet elk overs or do I bet his unders? Like, do I want to bet anything? Like, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't want to bet them at minus 275. I just want to hope that they can win 2-0 for the sake of my best ball teams. Gelati, tell me what you're doing, because I'm going to sit in a corner and just hope that this goes the way that I want it to go.
So I think, like, in terms of series price, I think this is pretty like on the nose. But again, like I'm kind of attacking smaller margins. So to me, like I took Rare Adam to get a map because I think they're gonna have choice. It's not actually like, I mean, via the model, it's not an advantage play. Like it's just kind of there. It's not. That's before adjusting for maps though. So I think they have a good chance. Even if they lose map 1 to get one. I think it's close enough to me. So I took Rare Atom to take a map here. But I mean they could win this series. In terms of like actually how this is gonna play out, I feel like you want to be involved in Billy games kind of for the same reasons you were mentioning. Is that like, they haven't had like any kind of crazy throws, but they've had a lot of leads. And Rare Atom,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you probably do need to get involved with Billy and just know that they're probably going to drop one in this game or in this match rather. Like they should win this. They should probably win this.
Of course, this one. Look, you're going to say that every time though about this
Yeah,
thing.
I know.
There's very few teams that they should lose to, but man, nothing would shock. Okay, look, if you woke up tomorrow and I told you Nongshim won 2-0, that IG won 2-0, and all the games went under sub 35 kills between the two games, and Rare Atom won 2-0. Which one of those things would shock you the least? It would be Rare Atom being BLG. I get it, the odds, but we've discussed the odds are off. Like this BLG team is just incredibly
Would surprise me the
disappointing.
least of the three dogs winning. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
probably that makes the most sense for that. I mean, weirdly enough, though, like I think I would almost be more surprised by Invictus, but it's pretty close.
I know. I'm sensationalizing it a little bit.
Yeah, no, I got you. I
just when you think about it, how can Elk in a bot lane focused meta lose to this dude Assume? Like there's no way. There's no way that BLG should lose, but I don't want to say that they won't, but they shouldn't. I'm going to be absolutely disgusted when this BLG team either wins this in a 2-1 fashion. Elk gets like one less kill than his prize picks or his underdog, and I'm
so
out there instacarting with Gugs. We'll collab.
I will say this though, like just so there are differences in bot centric metagames, right? Like I mean, most of League's history has been bot centric, but it's like different forms of it, right? So like right now, it's like very active. Like it's like level 2 or level 3 ganking it, snowballing a lead out of it, getting the flashes, coming back, doing it again, right? Whereas before it was playing a lot of protect. Like last year, especially, we got hyper carry basically until Worlds, right? Like we didn't see Lucian until like the end of the summer, pretty much, right? It was like the very beginning of the year and the very end of the year. It was all like Jinx and Aphelios forever, and then eventually Zeri when she came out, right? It was all just like protect the hyper carry, Sivir, yeah. So that's a different feel than when you're actively trying to get stuff going with like a Caitlyn Lux or Lucian Nami, something like that, where you have to force the action, even if that's not through getting kills, but getting like getting a push on the tower, getting into plates. That's a more active type of play. It's a lot more about skirmishing 2v2 and 3v3 and getting summoners out. And some of these players are less good at that than others, and others are better at playing safe late game. Shout out Yon. Just saying, bud.
I will say that today on the LCS broadcast, Revenge was he was actually casting that game. He did a fantastic job of kind of explaining that exact thing, and why it's important and what it does in the map. And then they threw it all away.
I've really liked, like, just quick sidebar of it. Like, I've really liked. I'm gonna dare to say it, but I think the LCS broadcast has leveled up a little bit. I think they heard people bitching and they're trying stuff. I like having the pros on to cast games. Bwipo was great the other day too. I mean, he should just be a caster.
Yeah, Bwipo was good. I didn't think Sven was that good. I didn't think Inspired was that good. But like, they weren't terrible. But I thought Revenge was really, really good.
Yeah.
And obviously, some are going to be better than that than others. So, that being said, are you trying to tell me that Elk is not good at asserting his dominance early? Is that something that I need to kind of account for? Or will you guide me with that a little bit later when we look through some of these?
We can look through like the prize pick stuff. I mean, he's played a ton of Lucian, and like, it's real easy for that to look bad, like if you don't get stuff going. But I'm not remembering every single little play that they've done off the top of their head, so I don't know. I would have to do like a deep dive looking at how their bottom lanes played out on tape. I don't remember off the top of my head, really. Like, there's a chance that that's just the case, and he's just like not particularly good at this style, But I would have to look at it more.
All right, well, let's hop into this last game. These numbers are pretty big here too.
This is stupidly priced.
Ultra Prime, look, they don't have the name value, or do they? I don't know, because some of these guys have, been around for a while. Their names rhyme. That's interesting to me. And a plus 600 is interesting to me too, because I don't think that this is altogether that much different than like the LGD NIP. I mean, look, Weibo is better than NIP. I would argue that Ultra Prime is better than LGD. Are they that much different? I don't think they're 300 points different, which is kind of what this is implying, because that was plus 290 for LGD, and look what they did. They 2-0'd. I don't think that Ultra Prime is going to do that, but the question that I have for you more than anything is, do they take a match? Do they have side selection? Or am I completely glancing over this plus 600 and should I bet it?
No, they do have side choice for this. So they're going to get their choice probably twice if they lose the first game, which is part of that's the whole narrative behind me. Like, I know a lot of people are just, I've had a couple of people mess me. He's like, dude, you just bet like every single underdog. I said, not every single one, but a lot of them. And it's because that's not priced in. Like, it's just not. So it should be. It wouldn't be that hard to, but they just don't. So, like, in a case like this, you give them plus 150 for them to take a map, right? Or plus 165 with Bovada, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they're going to have two chances with their game plan.
They took a game off of TT.
Like, so. I don't care. Look, the bottom like 4 or 5 teams in the LPL are pure dog shit. They're all terrible. Like, it's real bad. It's funny that like they have all the whole salary cap debacle and all that thing, right? Like, there's been no spreading out of the talent whatsoever. Like, these teams are just not good. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just the meta's not good for them or if it's just been like a really weird fluky set of scheduled games. But like, I think they're bad. But here's the thing, right? This number's huge. Weibo haven't exactly been clean. Weibo have actually trailed in almost 70% of their games this season in the first 20 minutes. They've had a pretty tricky schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, context to it.
They've had a hard schedule.
They started later than everybody else, right? Like, they're behind in games played.
I think they played 3 matches in a week too, didn't they? Or it was like like 4 days or something.
Yeah, in the first 2 weeks they played one. In the third week they played one. Now they're up to that. So they were the team that or one of the teams that only played one game. So just for context, so people understand, they played top esports into BLG, into FPX, which they did win 2-0, but then they beat JDG and then got swept by TT, which I proclaimed in the Discord was absolutely not going to happen. And it did. This up team, this is a tough ask for them to sweep them, I would say.
Yeah.
Not as much for Weibo, but that side selection thing there, just the price on it. Again, this isn't from a DFS standpoint. This is from just a absolute betting standpoint. You got to take that plus 1.5. I think.
Yeah, from a betting standpoint, I think you just have to, and it's a hold your nose special, right? Where it's like, look, you're betting on this garbage team, but the number's just so big, and they're going to get 2 shots to get one, probably, maybe, So, and take a small stake on the money line too, because we've seen weirder shit happen in the LPL. And here's another thing. Here's the other variable, and I mentioned this on the Patreon post today. Like, I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's one of the best to ever do it. I think he's creative, but the Shy has these games where he's the Shy, and all the stereotypes come true. And yeah, all it takes is for him to be in one of his moods where he's just being a goof or just sucking that day, and he's not on the same page with everything for them to win. Dude, So Weibo, they've had that really hard schedule. They've also only had side selection in one series to start. So I think there's a chance that this is like a second half. Like, they might, win like 6 or 7 in a row in the second half. Got a lot of their tough games out of the way already. But this is still just too big a number to me. It's probably going to be, I would guess it's Weibo 2. It's probably a Weibo 2-1. Like I could see them punting one. So like I wouldn't rely on them for a 2-0 team slot. I will say, however, a lot of towers. Games tend to go longer with them, even though they've gotten blown out a few times. I don't think Ultra Prime is blowing anybody out. They might win a game, but they're not gonna win a 25-minute game. You know what I'm saying? So maybe you like Weibo team slot, even if it's not going to be a 2-0, to pick up a bunch of dragons and barons and all sorts of bullshit, right? So,
well, let's take a look at how these teams kind of stack up from pricing. I have no projections. If somebody wants to send me projections, I'll put them in there, and we can take a look at it from that standpoint. But I really just want to see how these teams stack up against each other. First and foremost, JDG is up at the top, followed by BLG, KT, and then Weibo. I think it will. I don't know if this is just kind of the shy effect. No, it looks like it definitely is the case. That they're around the third to fourth is, well, okay. I guess it's. What is this? Okay. Let me go through this real quick so we have it. Haven't edited everyone out.
you can get in this weird like blank bug.
Yeah, and some of them I don't know. I don't know if that's supposed to be somebody else. Ninja in Pajamas was completely blank, and I think that was just kind of telling me that we didn't need to play them. But yeah, look. So JDG is they're the most expensive.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like it makes sense in that the way they win their games, it makes sense, but based on like odds pricing, it doesn't make any sense.
But what's nuts is that BDD is at $7,600, $400 more than Knight. Just a really weird pricing spot there, and we've seen that a couple times from different teams. I'm just curious, can you do something like this? And I'm guessing that you can't. If we go like a captain,
like a jungle or top captain or something.
What if I do this? Probably not. You probably can't do it.
I'm messing around with it too. I'm just trying to see if you can do like a 369 captain.
I think it's struggling right now because I don't have any numbers in here and it's confusing it. Jeez.
You trying to do JDG?
Yeah, here I'm gonna fix it real quick. We're gonna do this live on air here.
JDG and Weibo.
2. Yeah, maybe I got some projections here.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it. I don't think there's any way to build JDG plus Weibo.
All right, Free Rolls sent me some projections. It's going to take me a second to edit them the way that we need.
You can't with a 369 captain. You could. You can with the shy captain. I'm just saying. If you want to get.
I was afraid you were going to say something.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to play that game. Like, I almost feel like either of the supports is probably a better option.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, look, I don't think that there's anything actually wrong with it. I think that may be.
I don't think that's a bad GPP lineup. If he just has one of his days where he just goes ballistic on like Jace or some shit.
No. It definitely is a bad GPP lineup, but you can get lucky, right?
Yeah, it's like a one-off. You wouldn't do like every iteration. You just pick one.
I think we're good. Let's manage this. Copy paste.
Yeah, you can get 4 Weibo with the shy captain with JDG team.
Sick. Are they just not in?
Actually, let me see if that lets you do any other.
No, Doggo's not in. Of course. Why would he be? That's okay. We're not worried about up. You can fit up with anybody.
You could do the shy captain with Knight and Ruler and 4 JDG. Like you can do 369. Oh wait, no, that doesn't.
The missing one comes up high. I mean, look, when it comes to these two teams, I love playing missing, and I think Crisp is one of the better fantasy supports that you can play. His kill participation typically is pretty high. He's not like a sup killer or something like our boy Kale or our boy Wink. But he is a guy that you could do something with. Now, let's see. With BLG...
I like that lineup better, too, because you get Kanavi captain. And I know he hasn't been producing at nearly the historic clip that I mean, he's the best jungler ever for fantasy. So, I know he hasn't been producing at that level, but that doesn't mean that you'd prefer to have not him in jungle if you're doing a lineup like this where you get to pick.
It feels like in a lot of these scenarios that you're forced into sub captains for the most part. Like, let's say
if you're playing favorites, yeah,
it's good. I like that. I do. I think that's sharp. But you could. You got to play the shy though.
Is it possible? Like, so I'm curious. I've talked to Moose and a couple other people about this, just like in theory. If you're playing cash for something like this, is this a situation where you play a 2-2-2 or something along those lines, a 3-2-2?
I think you could. I think you playing sub captains is not a problem at all.
Yeah, I'm just.
So if we're going with like Karsa captain, because look, when Weibo's won, Karsa has done very well.
You can get 4 BLG with that. That's not bad.
Yeah, but you gotta go with the shy. That's the only thing that I don't love.
The shy. The shy always disrupting everything, apparently. It's just like his favorite thing to do.
What if you went like this? What if you went with a Karsa captain? Let's clear this out. We grab Karsa. We're just gonna force the shy not in there. You can't do it. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, there's definitely some questions that you need to ask yourself in terms of building.
You can get missing 369, Carson, Knight, Light Crisp, and JDG team is probably the safest of if you're gonna do JDG Weibo. I think that's the one you do for that if you're gonna do it. But you're talking what, KT BLG?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I'm thinking about like things that I feel like are going to happen, I mean, let's see. I don't hate that.
You can't get a JDG player in there, can you?
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
When I'm saying, can you get a JDG captain?
Oh,
over an RA
yeah,
captain.
You should be able to.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
We go with like Knight and then
Let's see.
Yeah, simple.
Wait, why is this not?
I mean, this is a lineup that I would run. A Knight captain with Kanavi, Ruler missing, going with Cube and Strive, assuming that RA wins, or I think that this feels like.
Oh, you can get a Ruler captain with that too.
Yeah,
you can get Ruler 369 Kanavi and missing.
I think that this is going to be a popular lineup. A light captain, you should know me, Karsa, Jahu on Crisp. I think you could even take Crisp out of there if you wanted to be a little bit different. Throw a little wink action, go 3-3, add Weibo into the team slot. I would think that Weibo's team has a higher probability of scoring better than IG's.
Yeah.
Just because the 2-0 is definitely in play. Now, if you wanted to get kind of wild and really wild, you need to get lucky, though. You can get this 4IG with BDD and aiming KT, and I do particularly kind of like this this setup. Look, if I'm running, I mean, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of IG lineups out there, and they're going to look a lot like this.
Yeah, I think everyone's on. I think everyone's hip to the fact that whoever wins that series is going to be high scoring, whichever side.
And I think that that's something that you should play to. Everybody's if you're playing IG, you're probably 4-stacking IG, and I don't think that you have to. I think a 3-3 with the 2-0 possible team, the favorite team slot,
just to get different.
Yeah, look.
Yeah,
you're playing it.
I like
get Gideon out of there. You can get June. You can get Karsa. Those are two ways that you could do it.
Yeah, and then maybe you play
just flip flop the ADC
team slot.
It's dangerous to not play on in the captain slot, but I think if you play a dude like Light specifically or Elk, these are both guys that have just absolute ceilings that are similar to Ons. And hopefully, if they get what you're playing for is that they get a 2-0 or something like that. They don't get completely dumpstered in one game like IG might. And that's how you ship the slate. So that's really all we have from the kind of the DFS perspective. I think that this slate is
this is interesting.
Well. I think that there's a couple different ways that they should price these. They should just like open it up and let everything playable almost, or they should have it pretty tight like it is here with the favorites. I think I'd prefer on 5 game, 6 game, some of those bigger slates. Just let us let us cook, man. Let us cook. Let's do what we can do.
Collect data on it too. Like that'd be for people that are projecting ownership. That's like a real fun exercise too. Like the less, the looser the pricing is, you get to see where people tend to favor, to see where the field tends to go. You don't have the same situational advantage, but like it's just you get to collect more data points, which is cool. Yeah, this slate's interesting. Like because I think you can build like all of the favorites like with a carry captain with any of the dogs too, because the dogs are huge. And you could even do like 4-2-1s with like a one of underdog play and get a lot of them, like a lot of the carries on the bigger favorites in. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna play this slate or not. I haven't built anything yet. If I would, I'd probably do some off the wall shit, like just completely fading that IGJDG game, like a lunatic.
Playing like KTRA,
Just like don't play that game at all. Because I feel like the majority of the ownership is going to be in that game on both sides of it.
Play something like this.
Yeah,
this is a real.
That's saucy.
This is a type of lineup though. You put this in, and you get 2 winners, as they'd say, and you don't even cash.
Yeah, you get 2 winners, and KT wins 12-2 and 14-4. And both and the jungler got all the kills, and BDD got like 3 kills in the whole series.
Like a 30 kill, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hop into the what's been a fun addition. Give me 1 second here. I'm paying out. We did an LCS weekly. LCS weekly best ball, and paying out the winner for the first time here.
Who got the win?
Ton of fun. Who won? It was Fry.
Oh, nice.
He went ahead and he backed Golden Guardians.
Sharks backed Golden Guardians this week. I'm just saying. Except for, I think it was me on the first day. I did bet them the other times though. Let's see, what did I do? No, I didn't go again. I didn't back them against TSM. I just took props in that game.
Well, TSM,
I bought Golden Guardians both of the times. Oh, did it really?
Yeah, it did. The TSM stack took second. Would have taken first if they had been probably a little bit bloodier, or if 100 Thieves had won. I think even either way. But let's hop into this underdog. I had not the best day, but not terrible. If you were here earlier, you know that this balance was half of that price. So, look, we grinded out a couple. We're just doing a couple here, trying to get back some of this money that we gave over to underdog earlier in the season. So help me out, Gelati. I don't have a ton of projections done, and I don't know how many projections I really want to do for some of these games. But let's build a slate here. Karis at 6, Young Jay at 3. Do either of these kind of stand out? I have a hard time betting on the favorites here because, man, there's just not going to be a lot of kills.
So it's only for games 1 and 2. If you have a situation, so the thing in the LCK is the jungler is going to be involved like almost every time. Like there's a lot less solo killing going on in the LCK unless it's in top lane. Like I don't know if you've noticed that, but like a lot of the top laners will pick up solo kills. But in general, like if there's going to be kills in the game, the jungler is going to be involved. It's still a tough ask. Yeah, like just because it's involved does not mean they're actually going to get the kills, which is exactly what you're getting at, right? Like that's. Well, I think it's a little bit more likely on this patch. We're starting to see some Graves and stuff like that. I do think Kwangdong win.
Well, so Young Jay in wins has 14 kills in 8 games. Karis in wins. Karis in wins has 39 kills in 8 games. So But what does he have in losses is kind of the question that you have to look at. How does that work? In losses, 18-14. So he's only probably picking up 1 kill. I mean, I probably would want to play the under, but you know what we're going to do? We're going to just go ahead and play something that we love here. You know, we joke about it, but truly, this is near and dear to our hearts.
Sup
I
overs.
think that we're going to play support. I think we're going to play support unders here. When we look at both of these guys,
You cash on a
effort.
push, right? If everything else
Well,
wins.
no, if it pushes, you get your money back, right?
Okay. So
So
it's
I
a full
think what,
push.
yeah, so I think we're going to take because effort has 9 kills in 22 games. June has 8 kills in 15 games. I'm going to take the lower on both of these. I don't want to commit anything to a larger ticket. We're going to take the lower on both of these. We're going to add a third piece to the ticket. So there's no strong lean on this Karras. There's no strong lean on Young Jay. I would probably, if I had to play something here, and TT, not TT, see, your names are all screwed. Your names screwed me up. My fault, though. It's a me problem. Free rolls. If you have a strong lean and you want to throw it in there, throw it into the chat, and we'll get ahead. Go
I
ahead
will
and get it
say
on
I
here.
like unders a lot more now than I did last patch, and the LCK is on 13-3,
Okay.
where like you're not having your Ash every single game, right? Like you're getting a lot more Braum, Nautilus, champions that go pick up a ton of assists. It's pretty hard from the lane killing blows on stuff. You're still seeing some of the enchanters around, but
Bro, I've never seen you post your slips spell. Post your slips. Post them.
it's a slip.
Yeah, Kev, tell me your picks because I mean you've been hot recently, but I still don't trust it. I don't want to play. How about this one? And I think that this one might make it onto the full card. But there is some risk that's associated with that, obviously. But we got our boy on, and you think that they're going to take a game. You have almost like you have came on the show and definitively said that they're going to take a game.
I'm
And
confident they get a
if they
game.
take a game, this dude should get like 5 or 6 kills in that game alone, right?
Yeah. That's a tall ask still, but they're gonna get. The thing is though, like they're gonna get choice. Even if they lose the first one, they're gonna get twice. I would assume they're gonna take advantage of that by picking a situation where they get premium jungler into priority bottom lane. So priority bottom lane doesn't necessarily always mean kills, but it does often mean that the carry gets ahead, which is where you get set up for kills. So it's not like a situation where you're playing Lux Caitlyn and you're behind. Like that. By the way, that Stixay game tonight, that was a little bit lucky. Like the Lucian Nami got ahead in that game against 100 Thieves, and Stixay picked up like 3 kills in a row, like right off that Herald fight and the regank on bottom lane. That game could have been over. So you don't
It
you're
is
you're gonna
what you
hope for
mean.
something like that not to happen. I like on over 6, especially if they get a game, because then he's only got to get like 1, maybe 2 in a second
So
game.
so Kev is going under on the Karis. He's going under on the 3695, but I feel like maybe we just do this. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it a sub ticket, and let's move on. Let's just go. Let's throw Wink. He is the pre. I can't talk right now. He's the
Preeminent.
best in terms of yeah. There was like 4 words coming in my head. I was getting really confused, and I didn't want to sound stupid because I don't want you guys to think less of me because of my inability to talk. But I am getting older. It is getting late, and I haven't been drinking. So like the high lifes yesterday made me kind of lively.
Loosen up a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of lubricated the joints a little bit. Um, but that being said, do we have strong conviction here on? Do we want to put him on the ticket? Do we want to put him on the ticket and then consider it later?
Put them on there.
Put him on there. What about this 369 play from Kevin on the under 5 kills?
I like that a lot. I know they're still on. I believe the LPL doesn't usually switch patches unless it's like Tuesday. They switch in the middle of the week usually, like Wednesday or Thursday. So I don't think they're
Okay.
playing on a new patch. So I mean, he's gonna maybe potentially get carries still, but that's a lot of kills, even in a win, even in like a
So
2-0 win.
So free rolls has him at 5 in a 1-1. In a 2-0, he would be at 6. So that is kind of risky there. On definitely at 5.52 and 1.83. Feels pretty good. I think we're going to abstain from this 369. I just think it's a little bit too close. I think it's more likely to push. I think, like, look,
Well,
and we talked about it earlier. If it was 5-5, it would feel better to put it on the ticket, but we have it on the ticket as a 5. Pushes are nice because you don't lose, but let's see if we can find something a little bit better.
well, here's another angle to this too. Like, essentially we're building parlays here, right? Like we're trying to build correlated parlays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to play a situation where if you think JDG don't 2-0, I actually think it's a good bet. He has it at 5 and a 1-1. Free rolls has it at, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, if it's a 5.5, like, yeah, and you're right, you do want to make correlated tickets. We talked about that earlier,
Yeah.
but this is not a correlated ticket. This is the big
ticket.
brain. This is the big brain ticket. That's what it is. We insure it. We go completely fish on this.
Okay.
I think the one from earlier missed by 2, so it didn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you insure or not. If you lose more than one of the legs, doesn't matter. Here's one that I think was interesting to me initially. It jumped off the page. Aiming at 9.5. 9.5 feels like an absolute lock, but I've said that before, and this dude has let me down. Aiming is one of those guys that I can never get right.
He gets a huge portion of kill share every team he's on.
Correct, but in his last 2, he got 5 kills against DRX.
If we think that's going to be a blowout, which I think it might. So the thing is, all right, so like disclosure, I bet overs in that, like kill total overs in that game, but it's still only 20.5. So, if I think it's going to land in like 23, 24 range, you get a 2-0 where there's like, let's say one of those games goes over. We get somewhere between 30 and 35 kills total for KT Rolster, right? If that ends up happening, how many of those we think he gets?
Well, let me just run some real life numbers, some things that have happened. 2-0 DRX, 5 kills. 2-0 or in 2 wins against Genji, 8 kills. In 2 wins against Damwon, 17. But like, he got 11 one game. That was a good game. The 2-0 against Brion, 8 kills. The 2-0 against HLE, 9 kills. This 9.5 is pretty on point. Free rolls has him in a 2-0 going for 9.4.
I think that's dead on. You just got to pray it's a 2-0 and not a 2-1, right?
Well, you got to pray that it's a 2.
Oh no, it's 2 games. Might be.
Yeah, my point being that this number, it initially feels
it
really
looks
good.
obvious, right? And I guess it's not.
I almost think that it's like one that you want to go under on. But
I
don't want to add that to the ticket. I think we can find some better spots. That one jumped out at me, and I knew right away when I looked at it that this was a trap, and Nathan was trapping me.
Fiesta under, I like.
You like the Fiesta under? Okay.
It's only 3.5, but I really do think KT is just going to blow them out.
Okay, I like it. Let's take it. Look, I will tell you that there, and Spell, I'm gonna put you onto something here, buddy. Sup unders and overs are exciting because it's like,
because they're coin flips.
It can happen at any time, right? But let me tell you about something else that's exciting. Betting that under 1.5 kills in a best of 1 on a mid laner or an ADC. I did that both with Tactical and a Blaze Olive. I had them both under 1.5. And let me tell you, the way that I was feeling is Tactical was inches away from getting like seemingly 6 or 7 different kills. It's the same
great sweat.
You get when, it's the same feeling that you get when your support gets karma and you need 1 kill, and you're like, all right, we've got 3 to 5 minutes for this to happen. There's nothing else going on in the game. No one gives a shit about anything that's happening. They're just getting their first 2 or 3 waves, and we are just hoping that karma can RQ somebody to death and that they're going to, exchange. So that's fun. I would also say that if you are betting that sub ticket, you could probably take a Peter under if you wanted to go to that. Let's hop here. Strive and June. We have 6 kills on both of these guys. In terms of like the projections on June, we are looking at 6 kills total. Obviously, a guy that can pop off at any point, but some of these junglers on 13-1 are playing. Well, look, it's the LPL. He's playing like Vi, Maokai, and Sejuani, right? Like that's who you're playing. They're not giving him like
no other
Elise.
champions exist on that patch.
Exactly. And then you got Strive. Like the problem is betting Strive, you are betting that they win one of the games at the very least. And if they do win a game, Strive should hit the 6 kills.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. I'm with you. I like that
I'm
one a lot.
lock in the Strive. I think
it seems hefty, but
it's interesting.
But he's been really, really good this season too. On top of just gravy situation, gonna play some PCS. I have no lean on that.
No, I do have a bunch of CBLOL stuff. Like I actually have that. I have my projections and everything for.
Actually, let me take a look at this. Is it maybe Beyond's worth throwing in there?
No, there's too much that you have to go into with some of this stuff. Like there are a couple guys that I like chart. Like I always bet the Loken numbers and stuff like that.
Oh, and the LJL.
Yeah. But I just don't track enough of these. I just don't have the time, and nor do I have the desire to do it. Let's hop into this one. We've got Light and Harry. Our boy Kevin likes Harry under 3.5. I mean, I think that's interesting. You're going, oh wait, what? You like Harry under 3.5? Who is he laning against? Like he's gonna pick up 2 kills off of the Shy.
Yeah,
just
we know who we're dealing with here.
It. I guess you're right. The jungler could come in and take one of those, but
can you do Harry over kills and under deaths? That'd be or no, over kills and over deaths.
I've thought about I've wanted deaths for a long time. So here's the thing: when we look at this, Light at 11.5. I mean, he gets 9, probably somewhere in the range of 8 to 10 in a 1-1. If this is a 2-0, Light has proven that he's probably going to excel past this 11.5 number. But I don't know if I want to put this on anything.
Yeah, what's it called? Dies. They actually die below league average in losses for what that's worth, like Ultra Prime does.
Okay. So let's.
Weibo also is above league average in overall kills. So, but they've also played the tough schedule, so maybe they just roll over these bad teams.
True. Let's absolve. Let's abstain from
that. We'll keep that bookmarked. Any CS:GO locks?
This goes into.
That's my only beef with this is like the.
Yeah, I mean you could do it like this though, but then it's even different. Like if you search LOL, well, no, it's the same way. But anyway, we could definitely get into some LEC.
Oh, we can do LEC too, right?
We can.
You want to talk about that, or are you saving that for tomorrow?
No, I mean it's
2 matches.
Tomorrow. Yeah. I would say X kick over 8.5.
I like Heretics tomorrow.
Okay.
So
you like Evie over 5 kills then?
5 is a lot, but yeah, kind of.
Well, so then you probably, if you like Heretics, then you like DOS under 2 kills. Is this a best of 5 or is this? It's only 2 games. It's 2 games. It doesn't matter. This is 2 games. DOS at 2 kills is super high in my opinion, but I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers.
That seems really, really high. That seems like an under, especially because I think they lose that series. I think the wrong team's favorite in that series.
What about Nuke? I think Nuke over 9.5 feels good. Look, I don't know. I can pull these numbers a lot easier. So let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's look, doing five teams worth of numbers or 10 teams worth of numbers for LPL and LCK take some time. Doing 4 for LCK or LEC, I could wake up tomorrow and do that while I'm watching these games, or even after these games are over, for that matter. JDG, Ruler Kanavi, Ruler Knight. Here's what I would say is that one of the rules that we have when we're doing this is that if you think the team's not going to 2-0, then you really want to take some of these big adjustments. Canavi has not been killing nearly at the rate that he has before, but he certainly could bust out like a Viego game just like for shits and giggles and, get like 11 kills in a win or even in a loss. But I don't know if I really want to touch this. I don't know if this one is one that I want to add to this ticket. It's just in a 2-0, I think Ruler wins. I think if they lose one of these games, and you think that they do, we have on the ticket. I think we have to take Canapi. I think we do.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. Like, so the other aspect to this is, like, yeah, one, I think IG could win this series outright, like even 2-0, which sounds a little crazy, but I think it could happen. But yeah, the problem is this patch, though, man. Like, that's the only beef with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like if he's just gonna be on Sejuani.
But look at the comment here. Full disclosure, I'm not entirely sure the position here. But hey, and if you use like Big Kev 15 over at RPS, you get like 15% off or something.
There it is.
So, and you get more groundbreaking analysis from Kev himself. So here personal access too.
So hear me out on this one. If we think this is a 1-1 in the first two games, right? That's kind of the premise we're going with on, right?
Sure.
If we think it's a 1-1 in the first two games, we do think this is going to be a high-scoring, like bloody-ish. At least one of these games is just going to be an absolute clown fiesta, more than likely, right? Like just I'm talking like 30+ kills probably.
I think we can't do this.
That's what I'm saying. Like if that's the case, Ruler's getting 4 or 5 in that game, and Kanavi's probably going to be on Sejuani duty. Next patch. That's going to be the clapback. The clapback is going to be you take as soon as we go to the next patch, take Kanavi every single game.
So let's go to the other side then. We've got IG. We've got You Should Know Me versus Dove. You Should Know Me versus Gideon, and Dove versus Gideon.
Dude, take Dove. That's a lock. That's a lock. It's -0.5, right?
Yeah, but like You Should Know Me is.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a top laner still.
But he still projects better. He has a bigger kill share, more kills than Dove, even in losses. Gideon has more kills and losses than both of them, but in a win, You Should Know Me has a higher total. This is still 13-1.
Yeah. So I will say, like, this is it's that matchup. That matchup's going to make or break that game, I think.
He's only getting a half here. He's getting 1 here. Okay, I'm good with it. Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was talking about Dove against You Should Know Me. I know it's not. I know it's kind of against the numbers, but like, dude, how often are top laners outscoring mid laners in kills anyway? Almost never.
Like every IG series he does. That's thing.
That's it.
Like,
yeah. Like like here's the thing, right? He's 369's by far the toughest test he's had. That can go one of two ways. Either they really go at each other and it's just a solo kill, party up there, right? Or they cancel each other out and it's the rest of the map.
I mean, here's what I would give to you though on that side of it. Gideon has 29 total kills in their wins. You Should Know Me has 64 and Dove has 45. These are not just lane kills.
Yeah, I know. He's nuts. Half those are better the Rumble games, right?
I'm
gonna take a look.
I mean, he does it on Fiora. He does it in all of these places. So
he's a savage.
Yeah. So I mean, I like both of these. I like both of these a lot. I'll probably put them on another ticket. I mean, we only have one. We have one.
So it's 2 games, 1-1, and he's laying a half kill, right?
Or You Should Know Me's laying a full kill against Gideon. Dove would be laying a half. I think You Should Know Me's in wins. He has 26% kill share. Dove has 23, and Gideon has 12. Now, if we go to losses, smaller sample, but You Should Know Me still at 20%. Gideon's at 24, and Dove's at 13. So I think that You Should Know Me. He's going to have a shot against Gideon where if they get 2-0'd, I feel like he has the better shot of winning this. I'm going to go with the You Should Know Me. I think that these are very similar. I just like this one better in losses.
I got you.
What about Elk versus Bin? We've got a little 5 spot here. Yagao versus Bin. We've got 1. Or Elk versus Yagao, giving up 4. We think that this team ends up losing maybe one of these games. Although I mean, we do. We have Strive on the ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some big numbers there.
Yeah, I know. That's a big.
It's okay. We don't have to love them. Like, look, we got 1 spot. We can be selective. If they don't jump out at you, the chat's not helping
Been
us.
catching 5. Cube's pretty good though. Usually, Cube's. I should say Cube's pretty good at not getting blown out. That's like his whole shtick. Oh, I like Assam there. Assam laying 1 against Cube. Yeah, that's right.
Like I said, I haven't ran all this stuff, so I don't know on some of these. In losses, yeah, I mean, let's say in wins.
So 1-1.
Cube has a 23% kill share. Assume has a 17. Cube in wins has outkilled Assume by 8 kills over the course of 8 games.
So 1 kill difference. That makes up for the spread, right? So, I mean, so here's the thing, right? Like, especially like top against carries, it seems too obvious. But I also think like in a lot of the games where the carry is getting kills, it's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, here's the other part.
Look at who he's against.
They could get 2-0'd and like nobody could get kills, and then you're scraping. I'd almost say like we're getting a little bit too cute there when we have an absolute layup. It appears bestowed upon us.
The Shy.
We got Cars against the Shy. I don't think the Shy has like registered a kill in the last like 2 or 3 games that they played. Is that correct? Is that right?
Oh wait, the Shy against Xiaohu. That's the layup, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So let's look at this. Like, the dude has 2 kills in his last 5 games. Karsa has in that same time frame not that much better actually. But Zhao, tell me that this one's better, right? Like, yeah, I'm going with this one. 2. Let's put that on the ticket. Let's look.
Yeah, I like that. I mean that stuck out to. I like that. I still think I like the SM play. SM over was a Cube, right?
Yeah,
I know you don't like that one as much, but
I'm gonna keep that one off.
That's like a bot lane double kill.
It is. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's.
I mean, you need the kills. You need them. I don't think I want to do anything on this Ultra Prime side of things, and then going into Bro, I almost think that. So one of the things that Henna does very well when they lose is not get a kill at all. It's true.
Dude,
terrible.
I actually think I think Henna's actually really, really good. He's not a great fantasy player, but I think he's a really, really good player. And I'd be interested to see him on like a good team. Because the guy kind of makes lemonade a lot of the time. It reminds me, he's not quite like Teddy, but it reminds me a little bit of that. But anyway, so
yeah, the problem here is,
but you're right though. He has a knack for getting zeros.
Yeah, but like if they do take a game, I think he's going to do pretty well and significantly better than Morgan and Umpty, and I think he'll probably clear whatever adjustment is there. We've got our full ticket. I don't really want to do much on a losing or on the KDF side of things.
Well, that's the hardest one to pick. That's the hardest series to pick. You just stay away from it.
BDD versus Cuz, Kin versus Cuz.
Hasn't Cuz had like crazy low kill participation?
Yeah, I think except for like one of his series, like the most recent one, he
in the most recent one he kind of popped off. But
so we think that they could go 2-0. Cuz at 29.
72%. Never mind, that's not that crazy.
Well, he has a 14. He has a 14% kill share versus.
Yeah, I'm talking like overall kill participation though.
In 20, BDD 25. I kind of like that too. It's tough. I mean, I think I'm good with the ticket the way that we have it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far into
No, I like this one.
these. Just real quick here. Ruby's got the COVID. Do you think Heretics is going to win? You probably feel. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. I'd probably still take Ruby, right?
Yeah.
You always take everybody over Shio for sure.
Did I miss that? Like he's playing, but he's playing remote, right?
They're all playing remote, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be a problem.
All right, so here's the Cove ticket. We're going to go with on over 6 kills. We're going to go with Fiesta under 3.5. Strive higher than 6. You should know me over Gideon, giving up 1 kill. And then we're going to go with Xiaohu, rivaling the Shy. Shy's going to get a 2 kill adjustment. We, as always, put the insurance on it because this is a pussy parlay type of play. And we're going to hit submit on that for $20. That's not a huge amount of money, but it's almost more than I won in DFS today. So let's go take a look real quick before we leave. We do have some just ADCs. Some of them weren't available or offered. We've got Knight and Ruler at 9 and 10. I think that this is an interesting spot where you could take the over on these. I think that they might even get there in terms of if it is a loss. We're definitely going to go with on over 5.5 because we went with over 6.
Over 6, right?
Dove is pretty interesting there at 3.5. Karis at 6. Taeun, Bulldog. Did any of these jump out at you? Is this big enough?
What was Bulldog's total? I didn't look.
6
probably, right?
4.5 for Bulldog. Taeun is 6.
4.5 seems good for a Bulldog. That's what was it? He was 5 on UD, wasn't he?
They sometimes they don't have everybody. So Prize Picks only has the mids and the ADCs.
I mean, Guangdong are favored. You know, I think that's the closest to a 50-50, but like
20 kills.
They are favored. They have looked better recently. I don't think Bro's bad, but Bulldog's, he's going to be a player. He might not be, you know, going crazy this season, but he's also really aggressive and will actually go for kills too.
All right, let me pull one thing up here because we've got him projected just under this number. And by we, I mean free rolls. There's Bulldog. Let's go take a look at some of his wins here. This is going to be a low-scoring series too. That's the concern that I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay away from that one. Let's see if we can find something else. BDD at 6.5. Strive at 6. We said we liked.
That one, it feels like he gets there if you're confident in a Guangdong 2-0, he definitely gets that. But
so what about this Elk 8.5? There's a question. I mean, 5.5, 8, 9. I think we take. I take this. I think at 9 it would be less. No, I like the 8.5. I think in a win he's going to get 5 or 6. Maybe he gets 2 or 3 in a loss. And if they 2-0, he definitely hits this.
If they 2-0, he definitely hits it.
But then I shouldn't have Strive on there. You know what? Let's
dude. I think. So do you think that's most likely going to be a 1-1? You're gonna have RA. You're gonna have RA with choice twice. If like they lose game 1.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that there's a good chance of it, but I think that even in a loss, I think Elk can get there as long as
you only need him to pick up a couple, right? Probably like 3 in a loss.
So look, in his last couple losses, 4-1, 2, 2-3, 5. In his wins, though, we're talking 5-11, 5-8, 5. I think that the overs there. His last series was kind of a disappointment because it was a 6 kill because he only got 1 in the loss and then only got 5 in the following game. That was against.
I'm pulling up my kill projections for that one right now because I forget them off the top of my head.
I'm gonna run with the Elk here.
I mean, Rare Atom are pretty low scoring. Like they're an under team so far. That doesn't mean that Elk won't get there, but
fuck it. I'm gonna go with it. Take a look at the things.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that one. I like the under.
All right. Well, I'm taking. So what do you have him at?
So here's what I've got. I have Billy. So Billy is averaging 15.4 kills a win. League average in the LPL is over 17. They're not the lowest. I don't actually. They might be the lowest. Let me take a look. They are the third lowest in the league.
So you think that he gets what? Okay, so if they win 230, this guy has a 38 kill share.
So you figure, yeah, if they go 2-0, I mean, it probably goes over and one, under and one, averages out to like, what, 31? So you got 31 kills. What's his kill share?
38 wins, 30 in losses.
So in a 2-0, he's going over probably. Like 11 and change. In a 2-1, it's much closer to the number.
Oh, I mean it's close. I mean it's going to be an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
I think that I think I'm playing the line here.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's Elk. Like he could just get there in a game on like Zeri or something. So like I don't hate it. I would probably just the other thing is like it's rare at them, and they don't give up a lot of deaths when they lose either. So far, but I mean, you could also look at like who've they played. Might be overthinking this.
So going back to it, like that whole Henna thing, do we just take Henna under 6? Yeah, I think we do.
For Brion, yeah, maybe. All right, so Rare Atom have the only really tough teams they faced are Top Esports and LNG. This is probably their third toughest match of the season. They beat OMG, but I don't know how good OMG actually is yet. I think they're kind of a little fraudulent.
Dude, they've been practicing a lot of champs.
Yeah, I mean they might be okay, but so like Rare Atom, I mean, there's a chance Rare Atom. By the way, when they played against the good teams, like when they top have just been murder machines. They're top and LNG, they're high kill teams, right? Every other game, like if you take the average of like average talking here, right? Like it's like 20, it's like just under 22 kills a game for Rare Atom, like total combined kills against like everybody else. So, and Billy haven't exactly been high scoring, so I think there's a good chance this is like an under situation. And for what it's worth, like I have some time projections on this too, and it projected under, and I took under 4.5 dragons, and time total was advantaged as well, but I didn't take it. So there's a chance this is just clean low scoring games, one way or the other, even in a 1-1 or a 2-0. I think there's a chance he doesn't get there. That would be my skepticism on that.
What about this Knight Ruler? 9 and 10.
9 and
I mean,
10.
you're confident that they won. The problem I think that you have with this, right, is that like both of these numbers are achievable within one game.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And if it happens, it happens, right? Especially with those two players in particular.
All right. Well, I'm going to run this line right here.
I was going to say that one. I was going to say that one. I would almost lean like pick Knight or Ruler over Elk to me, just because I think like even in a there could be a game that's just a complete shit show in a loss.
Just erased my ticket. Unbelievable.
Oh, hold up, I can pause. I have the recording up on the other page. On the other tab. Let me see if I can pause it when you get there.
No, I know what it is. I got it. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to run just a little baby one here. And then you said take Elk out. So we're going to reuse these players. We're going to take Elk out. Reuse it. Take the Elk out.
I would go on.
Who did you want me to add? Knight or Ruler?
Knight. I think Knight probably. Just because it's 9. Yeah.
And then you're feeling pretty confident about Strive. So we'll throw Strive in this one. And then give me 2 more. You can't use Elk. Can't use Elk for the services. We've got aiming at 9, which 9.5 we thought was a little high. 9's still probably there. Yagao at 6. We got Zhao.
I like Zhao over 7.5.
Okay. So we've got one more that we can throw on there. White's at 11. Queen's at 4. If you want, we can go down, and I'm sure
we got too many overs.
Yeah, but like, hey, you don't feel good about SK 9 kills, Kick 6.5 Syracuse.
I like under 9 on Exakick, even though he's been
What
an absolute monster this season.
what about Dayor or Cove?
I just I think I think that series has a chance to devolve into a clown fiesta. I don't know. Do you feel the same way about that one? Like
No,
that feels like it could go. I mean, it's Astralis. You saw what was it against Mad Lions last week?
yeah. All
They
right.
just
Well,
do
let's
crazy
see.
shit sometimes. I like as good as Kick's been. I like his under 9
Okay, there it is, locked and loaded. All right,
for the
guys.
brand, dude. I had to have an under in there for the brand. All right, that's
Oh yeah, I mean, hey, well, look, I mean, betting unders is fun. It's just hard to find those. They hurt more when they're over. Like you always have a chance to hit the over, right?
yeah,
Like the double lift could have gotten 2 kills at the fountain, and he was so close to it. He was so close.
yeah.
I just wanted one person to spawn before the towers went, so I could get my 2 kills, and then like I have a ticket right here. This ticket here, so I had the Vikla
Ooh.
Blaze Olive, hit the FBI like at the end right there, spawn under, double lift kills me. Ninja Kiwi is my boy. This dude is going to crush tomorrow. I love it. And then we've got a little B-Boy action here. We do need
Oh my
Ninja
God,
Kiwi and
you're
B-Boy
all
to save
over the
this one.
place. This is CBLOL, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
I
I
have
gotta
that
try
all
to.
charted.
So I kept getting denied on this ticket earlier. I'm gonna try to put it back in again. It wasn't letting me play the parlay. Let's see if it
Unreal.
works. See if it works now.
So I will tell you that like I'm pretty confident on most of those, and the Liberty over loud play is strictly blue side. That's all it is.
Is Blue
Nine
Side
of the
crushing in the CBLOL?
10 games last week, blue side won. The one game that blue side dropped to red side was the worst team, the 1-7 team versus like one of the top teams.
What's the overall rate? CBLOL. Let me take a look.
It's about 50%.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that earlier because we were kind of talking about it. The LPL it's within coin flip again. Like it's
Look, so
52-48 right now for red, I think. So
it's 50%, but what I will tell you is the red side, the best team in the league, Los Grandes, that has lava on it, has 1, 2, 3 of those wins. Red, which is another one of the better teams, has like 2 or 3 wins. So I mean, I think
dude,
that is
blue's 57.5 in the CBLOL.
that's what I'm saying.
I
Like
was talking about the
it's huge.
LPL.
No, I know. I'm just saying like it's crushing there, and that's why I think that's
Hmm.
kind of a coin flippy game, and so I'm going to take the blue side in that. And
I dig.
the only one actually, the only red side that we did take in that was Los Grandes over Furia. Furia's 3-5, decent team, but Los Grandes is 7-1. They've got a couple Koreans, and that makes the difference. But hey, that's all I've got for tonight. We've ran an hour and a half. No surprise, no surprise. But yeah, that's all I've got. I don't have anything else. Thanks for watching, everybody that's been here the entire time. Go to Gelati's Patreon. Go ahead and subscribe to that. Use code Cove if it's available. If it's not, that's okay. Then go to Underdog. Do it there. And, good luck tonight. We're going to hit the music now, and we're going to leave.